Lord Krishna, the supreme sovereign of endless bliss, profound joy, the boundless ocean of love and wisdom, detachment, unwavering devotion, opulence and limitless power, declares to Arjuna that he is indestructible and the supreme deity among all gods. My incarnations take place purely to spread love among my devotees, bring them immense joy, safeguard the righteous and eradicate evil actions. You might question how evil beings could be devotees, but Lord Sukadeva revealed that Lord Hari's infinite compassion embraces everyone. Whether someone worships him out of love or anger, considering a relationship with him or opposing him, their connection to the Supreme results in ultimate salvation. Even those who hated or fought against the Lord were connected to him, and the Lord blessed them because he is the source of all welfare. The Lord manifests only to bestow his grace, and this becomes evident in the results of seeing him. Great sages, intense penance and dedication have brought forth the Lord, who even grants liberation and the ultimate position to those engaged in heinous deeds and possessing wicked natures. Just as darkness cannot prevail in the presence of the sun, similarly the Lord is auspicious and the embodiment of grace. At present, grace is given to those who wholeheartedly dedicate themselves. Yet, this applies only to those who consistently serve and worship the feet of exalted devotees. If understood, the body reaches its final stage. It surely won't need to be taken again as long as this awareness remains. The Lord himself says, "O Arjuna, my birth and deeds are divine. One who accepts the divinity of my birth and actions knows my essence and understands me. This will be his last birth. Beyond that point, the assurance is honored. Rebirth will not occur. He will attain my divine realm. The words of the Lord are the ultimate and eternal truth. We are simply called to accept them. Genuine knowledge remains unattainable without a guru's blessing. Until we surrender to the feet of a guru, we remain bound by ego. This ego, the fundamental source of the cycle of birth and death, drives endless desires and ceaseless wandering. Only with the Guru's grace can the ego dissolve, and only then can true knowledge flourish. Without renunciation, how can one genuinely unlock the Guru's grace? If you're still clinging to the body, worldly pleasures or attachments, serving the Guru truly is beyond reach. Family is sustained only by those who are misled into considering it as happiness. By renouncing it and the ego, one becomes singularly devoted and dependent on the Guru's feet. Apart from the Guru's feet, he neither has any power, nor resources, nor relatives, nor happiness in the three worlds. Only such knowledge leads one to walk on the Guru's orders and attain pure wisdom. Without detachment, there is no firm reliance on the Guru's feet, because attachment itself is selfishness, and without abandoning selfishness, we cannot firmly adhere to the Guru's words. One must worship at the Guru's feet and sing his glories in the company of the saints. Association with them keeps one away from the snare of time and ignorance that entangles others in futile worldly attachments. But people nourish attachment and selfish desires. The servant Maharaj says that forsaking selfishness and worshipping at the Guru's feet according to his orders purifies one's knowledge and keeps them aligned with the Guru's will throughout their life. Anyone who considers themselves above the Guru's orders and acts out of ego will stray from the path, regardless of their apparent stature. The intellect remains under the Guru's grace like a guiding rein. It becomes pure and continuously turns to the feet of Lord Hari. But the moment even a trace of ego arises, the intellect becomes uncontrolled and what an uncontrolled intellect might make one do, say, or perceive is unpredictable and unreliable. The feeling of culmination diminishes, illuminating the entirety of the ancient Vedas. They claim that without deep dedication, devotion, and serving Lord Hari's feet, no one can completely taste the joy of pure devotion. Is the bliss of Satchidananda attainable without this? True peace seems impossible, doesn't it? The magnificent and fully ripened mango tree without genuine contentment, life drifts like water from an unseen source. Numerous relentless efforts can one truly achieve fulfillment without leaning on Hari? And is genuine rest even possible without inner contentment? Isn't this a profoundly beautiful thought? By trusting Hari, we realize that whatever happens is by His will. So why should we feel worried about the outcomes? Why be restless and long for some specific scenario? Let circumstances unfold as they may. May the body be as is, may harmony and cooperation be as needed. Aspirants should embrace this. As Hari wills, so shall it be. Forever content with what is gained, now my desires are no longer my subject, but rather Hari's divine ordinance, for we are surrendered to Him. Without reliance on Hari, no contentment arises, and without contentment, desires do not extinguish. And without the cessation of desires in even a dream, one cannot achieve true purpose or fulfillment. A desire is the abode of happiness, but who can say it awakens peace? It doesn't even allow rest in dreams. Until there is trust in the Lord and acceptance of His will, there is no contentment. And without contentment, desires cannot be destroyed. Without the destruction of desires, how can peace be achieved? Just as a boat cannot move without water, no matter how much effort is made, it sails only in water. One could die continuously trying to row, endlessly exerting on land, but the boat sails only in water. A boat cannot sail on dry land. Similarly, inner peace is attained only in the waters of contentment, and this contentment comes only when one accepts whatever my beloved Lord wishes pleases me. Just as my dear Lord makes provisions, I accept them with grace. We are content in His contentment. Now we have no demands, no desires. Without devotion, there are no sweet fruits. The barren land yields nothing, and trees cannot grow without soil. Without contentment, desires are not destroyed. With desires persisting, there is no peace or happiness, not even in dreams. And without devotion, trust in the divine does not arise, and one cannot destroy desires. Just as a tree cannot grow without land, no matter the slightest hint of dust, only then will the tree blossom, bloom, and bear fruit. Similarly, if there is even a slight refuge in the divine, the heart will be filled with joy and enthusiasm, abandoning desires, attaining ultimate peace and rest. Unless one experiences the grace and blessings of Bhagavat, the divine essence, hatred and discord will continue to prevail. People tend to criticize some while praising others indiscriminately. This is a common trait of worldly beings, transcending their external appearances, nations, or missions. As long as individuals engage in criticism or admiration, attachment and aversion will naturally persist. The journey governed by qualities continues. The illusion created by Maya makes one oscillate between virtues and faults, lacking discernment. True capacity is felt when the grace of Bhagavat enables one to perceive their deity in all creation. Until this realization of science, bliss, wealth, and knowledge arises, attachment and aversion do not leave the soul. In moments of conflict, people often remain confused and misguided. Just as space cannot be perceived without the vast sky, acquiring true strength without devotion to Bhagavat is utterly unattainable. Without the foundation of unwavering faith,
No religious practice can be genuinely fulfilled, let alone Bhagavad Dharma. Faith is the root and origin of Bhagavad Dharma. It always begins its journey within the heart. Faith naturally arises, inspiring divine love and guiding one towards Dharma. Faith acts as a pathfinder, leading to profound knowledge, which eventually culminates in attaining ultimate peace. It fuels devotion, ignites passion, and drives one's persistent efforts toward spiritual progress. Without doubt, accepting the words of the true Guru as they are is key. Through such faith, one adheres to Bhagavad Dharma, love-based Dharma, and other just principles. Your soul shall not find rest until your mind is immersed in the divine ocean of bliss, until it abandons its restless nature, until it stops chasing worldly desires. Just as touch cannot manifest without air, and air's presence cannot be perceived without contact, similarly, until the joy of devotion to the Lord blossoms in your heart, true peace cannot be felt, and this mind will continue its deceptive ways. Immerse in divine joy with chanting, singing praises, meditating on qualities, reflecting on deeds, and serving with devotion. Practice diligently to let the mind abandon worldly thoughts and merge into the joy of contemplating the Lord. Once absorbed in divine ecstasy, mental unrest ceases, but until then, peace won't come. Do not allow the mind to wander. Steer it from mundane thoughts toward meditating on the Lord's glory. Steer the mind towards reflecting on the Lord's nature, influence, and devotion of His followers until it lets go of worldly reflections and finally finds joy where the eternal bliss resides. It will then become unwavering, steadfast, and still. Have faith in this principle. Belief in the divine nature of the Lord's incarnations brings liberation. Without faith, how can one achieve such perfection? It is through trust that enlightenment is attained. The divine birth of my Lord is spiritual, not of the material world. Though He appears to act human, He is pure consciousness and bliss. Without Him sung to Him, the ignorance clouding our understanding cannot be dispelled. When we attribute worldly qualities to the Lord and perceive His actions as mundane, such ignorance is destroyed only through sublime devotion. With continuous heartfelt worship and unwavering focus, only then will you realize the truth. The Lord's birth and deeds are divine and transcendental. Without true faith, pretense of devotion will never lead to pure devotion. And without devotion, Lord Sri Hari does not melt. It is this devotion that moves the Lord, making the unseen God visible and revealing Him in the heart and everywhere around, so much so that wherever one looks, they see their beloved. When the eyes close, the beloved resides in the heart's inner temple. Without faith, there is no devotion, and without devotion, one does not experience the grace of the Lord. Inside and out, only grace prevails, and until one feels the Lord's grace, even in dreams, true peace and rest are not attained. Reflect deeply on this and never question or doubt the Lord. Such arguments and doubts only fuel the destruction of faith. The infinitely glorious Lord provides grace to all beings, yet with our impure intellects, we see the Lord's divine birth and deeds through a limited human lens, sometimes even disrespecting or criticizing them. Goswami Ji advises, abandon all doubts and convoluted reasoning. There is no room for skepticism here because the divine blissful place of the Lord transcends human logic and mentally constructed intelligence. The mind and intellect are inadequate to comprehend this. Instead, through flawed reasoning, you impose your own impurities rather than understanding the Lord's divine pastimes. That is why one should perpetually sing the glories of the compassionate ocean-like Lord. Goswami Ji says that no one can perceive the Lord's majesty simply through His manifested incarnations, but the Lord is manifest, crying for a bit of butter, unable to step beyond Nan Baba's threshold. When mother stands with a stick in hand, he appears frightened, Are they pretending to cry, O Lord? Or are they searching for children, O Lord? Or are they getting frightened? They run and hide in the lap of mother when scolded by the elderly Braj women. Seeing this, one should not think that the Lord lacks power. If such power existed, why would such events occur? Until today, all great beings who sang of the Lord's character have considered such instances merely external as He is infinite, like the ocean. No matter how much you draw from it, you can only know that much. But in entirety, it is unfathomable. While one might extract some water from the oceans of wisdom, love, majesty, and the infinite glorious Lord's unparalleled splendor as described by the Vedas are immeasurable. How can anyone grasp all? Whatever is understood is according to one's capacity alone. Lord says to his devotee Garuda, O king of birds, the glory and majesty of Hari that I narrate or have narrated are valued by my own wisdom. I haven't comprehended it completely. When describing the glory of Vrindavan, the Acharya, influenced by that immense glory, first bows in reverence. They say, according to my understanding, I offer this first bow to the immense glory of Vrindavan. They also add, this is not absolute, but merely according to what little my mind can comprehend. Even those with small intellects can understand something about the grandeur of Vrindavan. While speaking about the complete glory of Vrindavan, they say it is like someone's perception of the vastness of the sky compared to an actual fruit. It is beyond reach. Whatever descriptive value I add is only possible due to the grace of the beloved of Vrindavan. An embellishment glorifies Lord Hari and shares with Garuda that all words come from my personal comprehension. I have not added interpretations, merely recounting what I witnessed firsthand. I observed His magnificence and narrated it to the best of my understanding. His greatness is infinite. Such is the majesty of Lord Hari, the revered name of Lord Hari. The form and attributes of Lord Hari are infinite. Boundless because He Himself is infinite. Great sages, Lord Shiva, Lord Shesha and the Vedas all sing His praises. But has anyone ever comprehended His entirety? Tell me, Garuda, from the tiniest insect to those who soar the skies, have any of them ever reached the end of the sky or fully understood it? The sky is just one of God's creations, let alone His boundless glories. Did anyone? No one has, nor will anyone ever comprehend it. Just rejoice in God's glory, accept it and believe in Him through faith, for this is the essence of devotion. Why? Not by reasoning, but by witnessing His divine play externally. Do not judge it skeptically. Even His retreat holds boundless charm. That is an experience for hearts filled with love. Reason cannot grasp it. He who even time himself fears, see how he fled from someone. How many soldiers did they bring? 17 times, and still none could harm him. The Lord was going to grant His mercy by appearing to me. He thought, let this one too be graced. Perhaps killing cows has tarnished him. Let a holy gaze cleanse him. Through this divine play, the Lord also wants to demonstrate that for the sake of His devotee, He is willing to abandon battles. If He can forsake devotion itself for His devotees, what significance has a battlefield to Him? Witness how those who misunderstand the power of devotion tremble.
The beauty of Lord Hari is so sublime it even transcends that of the celestial Cupid himself. His beauty captivates even sages and enchants the entire world. Every soul cherishes the divine magnificence of the Lord. Whenever the Lord unveils His power, even the fierce goddess Durga manifests to vanquish formidable demons such as Mahishasura. His unparalleled strength renders Him undefeatable, leaving no being across the three realms capable of opposing Him when He assumes the form of goddess Durga. The divine power emanates from the Lord Himself, revealing the beauty of the goddess. The counselors of the goddess roamed everywhere. They described witnessing a beauty so incomparable that no one in the palace, not even the maidens, could match her. They said, "Tell her about me," but responded that it doesn't seem like she'd come just by introduction. If not, drag her by the hair and bring her, diminishing her pride, into dust. So they declared, if she refuses, strip her dignity, seize her by force and bring her here. The counselor of Markandeya approached her and relayed the order, saying, "Our Lord demands your presence in the palace. Should you defy, I will disgrace you and drag you there." The goddess responded with a serene smile, saying, "Tell your Lord I obey only the will of the one I serve eternally." Victory in battle had been secured. He stood up and said, "Indeed they are unmatched. None in the three realms could stand against them." Overconfident, they began speaking audaciously. The mother said, "Continue speaking until I finish sipping my drink. As soon as I am done, your life will end." And so it happened. After finishing her drink, she roared from her lion mount, and all arrogance turned to dust. What makes goddesses the bearers of infinite powers? When the divine himself descends in compassion and majesty, his followers too partake in that divine essence. Madhodas Baba mentioned, you should serve in Braj. Wherever we offer devotion together, I will remain with you. Without you, I cannot carry on. Hearing these heartfelt words, Jagannath felt his heart melt, recognizing the depth of a devotee's relationship with the divine. And why does the Lord fear even in the face of his devotees' love? O divine Lord, within your being lies boundless majestic splendor surpassing the splendor of countless Indras. Your dominion stretches across the three worlds, showcasing magnificence similar to innumerable Indras, encompassing skies without end, with Garuda marking the extent from the tiniest creatures to the greatest entities. The strength within you is immense, like the might of countless winds. Among the three worlds, if strength exists, it is within the wind deity, Vayu. Born of his essence are Hanuman, the son of wind, and Bhima, another unparalleled hero of boundless energy, unmatched in their valor. They bow to victory's feet and rise triumphant instantly. As infallible as the will of Lord Rama, such was the way might was unleashed. When these heroes roared, enemies would tremble, their women miscarrying in fear. Whether it be Hanuman or Bhima, who can compare to them? When divine blossoms fell upon Draupadi, she was destined for no ordinary companion, but none dared to approach her destiny. Bhima remarked he could retrieve anything. The sages warned him of dangers, stating it was a land of yakshas and battles awaited. Behold their divine valor. When Bhima walked the land, even the strongest trees were uprooted by the force of his movement. Such was his immense power, partnered by Hanuman, who pondered that certain lessons only he could teach. Disguised as an aged monkey, Hanuman positioned himself with his long tail blocking the path, asserting the importance of humility and respect even towards animals. This teaching highlighted that if an animal rests in one's way, one should refrain from crossing it carelessly. Such was the value taught, honoring all forms of life irrespective of size or seeming importance. A being of wisdom and dignity like her should not resort to such sources of pride. They said, "Elder monkey, move your tail aside and let me pass. I am on an important mission." Upon being addressed as elder, you understand the strength of elders. I no longer have the strength to move my tail, but since you've called me elder, you understand, please move it aside yourself. They dared not disobey the command, yet lifted both hands and tried. The tail wouldn't budge. With all their strength, Bhima, the son of the wind, tried to move the tail, but to no avail. "Fold your hands," he said. "I now realize, our elder brother, you are none other than Lord Hanuman himself, for no other monkey in existence could make their tail immovable to me." Understanding this, Hanuman smiled, sat down and said, "Do not proceed on this path. It is a divine way full of ascetic power, and you may commit an offense. You will be cursed, therefore heed my warning." Bhima replied,
Lord, since you have shown me such grace, reveal to me the form you assumed in Lanka. He replied, do not discuss that matter, let it be. Again Bhima insisted, Lord, I wish to see it just once. Behold the unparalleled strength of my elder brother, Hanuman exclaimed. In that moment he unfolded his towering, majestic form. The battlefield became intensely terrifying. Bhima, even he of immense strength, trembled in awe. With a golden hue and a fierce form full of wrath, Bhima quaked in fear, humbled before him. When it comes to power, the wind ranks supreme among the elements. And how mighty is our Lord, as powerful as countless winds intertwined like the unstoppable Maruts. Truly, there is no question of his greatness. Even their smallest gestures, be it jesting or aiding devotees, highlight their divine joyous essence. Their strength is limitless, beyond comprehension. Does the Upanishad mention the story? The gods became full of pride after their victory, and there were celebrations in the assembly with dancing and singing. When the Lord sees pride in someone, he does not like it. Then within the rules of creation, when the gods, including Indra, are blinded by their success, the Lord assumed the form of a yaksha and appeared at the main entrance of the assembly. Indra, the king of the gods, said, find out who this is. How did he arrive without any notice? Since he is the Lord of the three worlds, Agni, the god of fire, said, I will go and find out, because it is not right to send someone weak to inquire about someone powerful. Agni went and asked, please introduce yourself. Who are you and why are you here? Before seeking to know about us, we wish to know about you. Who are you? He replied, I am Agni Deva. Agni proclaimed his capability to burn the three worlds to ashes with ease, and that he sustains life by burning food and water in every being's stomach. He said, I nourish life. To prove your statement as mentioned in the Upanishads, burn this straw. If you can, we will accept your claim. Agnideva confidently tried to burn the straw but failed despite using all his power. The Yaksha smiled and said, you claimed you could burn the three worlds like dry grass, and now see. When defeated, Agni bowed his head in shame. Indra, the king of gods, then arrived and said, who is this? Unable to know their identity, Vayu, the wind god, was sent next. He approached and said, let us first know who you are before introducing ourselves. The Yaksha asked, who are you? Vayu replied, I am the mighty god of wind. My power sustains the life of all beings, as nothing can exist even for a moment without air. I am the force that keeps everything alive, and I can blow anything away, even this straw. Vayu tried his best to lift the straw but failed. Feeling ashamed, Vayu departed. Then Indra stepped forward, and as he approached, he encountered something truly divine. They saw the manifested divine knowledge from afar. They embodied Brahman and scolded you, saying that you're not even worthy of conversing with them because you sit on the grandest throne and act arrogantly. Your deities are powerful, but not even fire burned for one day, and not even wind blew for one day. It was the Lord himself, from whose power strength emerges, who came. They trembled in his presence. Do not harbor arrogance. You triumphed by the Lord's power, not by the deities. The strength within the deities is a fragment of him, and countless are the winds granted strength. The great almighty Lord Hari, radiant like billions of suns, illuminates with the brilliance of billions of suns. His grace is as soothing as billions of moons. He is the one who destroys all fears and sorrows, our Lord Hari of unparalleled might. In the infinite power of the billions of cosmoses, Lord Hari, the eternal energy, has been creating a cosmic spectacle endlessly. He is stronger than billions of entities, unfathomably mighty beyond any obstacle, transcending immediate challenges. The Lord Hari, like billions of comets, is extraordinarily powerful. But how profound is his depth? Is he not deeper than the netherworld itself? How terrifying he is, more dreadful than even the god of death, Yama. Lord Hari is the purest, who sanctifies infinite holy places with his divine feet. Those very sacred feet, the Tirthapada, are of Lord Hari. His name alone is capable of erasing the entire collection of sins from the world. So before whom else would you need to stretch your hands and beg? If you understand your Lord, you will know it all. Once you understand Him, there will be no need to look elsewhere. No need for anyone's support. How is the Lord? He is unwavering like a storm that screams, yet abides in the solace of the Himalayas, unchanging, immovable.
No need to worry. No storm has ever uprooted the Himalayas. They say that the stability of billions of Himalayas resides in Lord Sri Hari, and His compassion is as vast as the oceans. Millions. Truly comparable. The ever-fulfilling Lord of creation. The creator of countless universes through divine will. Rudra with equal strength in countless forms and force. Even beyond that fact, Lord Sri Hari, who is like Kamadhenu, grants eternal blessings. If one were to find just one Kamadhenu, they would be blessed. In what measure could Sri Hari, our Lord, be compared to limitless Kamadhenus? Fulfilling every aspiration makes Him the supreme granter of wishes. The depth of wisdom of infinite Saraswatis residing in Him is indescribable. While one Saraswati governs a cosmos, Lord Sri Hari embodies the intellect of endless Saraswatis, creator like countless Brahmas, each unveiling divine glory. It's disclosed how the Lord's essence mirrors the creative prowess of innumerable Brahmas. And the ability of sustenance akin to billions of Vishnus resides in the Lord. Greetings! He possesses the divine power of Shankar to destroy with unwavering determination. The illusions of innumerable creations fade away. Boundless, incomparable Lord of the universe. He is as wealthy as billions of Kuberas. Indeed, He has the power to create like countless illusions. Billions of Sheshanagas support infinite weights in questions posed to the Lord. Lord Jagadish Sri Hari is unparalleled, boundless, and beyond measure. He remains matchless and extraordinary. Bring forth the believers. Rama speaks through the scriptures. The sun in its brilliance declares even the smallest truths. Sages rejoice in their individual philosophies. Lord Hari is ever compassionate and overflowing with grace, attentively listening with kindness and a gentle heart.
Lord Sri Hari is incomparable. He cannot be compared to anyone in the infinite universes. The only being equal to the Lord is the Lord Himself, says the scriptures. If one were to compare the sun to glowworms, it would insult the sun, not honor it. Similarly, if what has been described so far is compared to countless glowworms being called the sun, it would not be praise for the sun, but a kind of belittlement. In the same manner, according to their intellectual capacity, sages describe the glory of the Lord with the development of their intellect and illumination. No one has yet fully understood or reached the glory of the Lord's pastimes. There is no room for illogical doubt in His divine play. Now one should reflect on the capacity of one's mind, because the Lord in essence accepts only pure devotion. He is merciful. Whatever anyone describes, the Lord listens to it and finds joy in it. Just as a little child babbles while talking to their parents, bringing immense joy to them, in the same way, great sages, Brahmarshis and Mahabhagavats sing the praises of the Lord, and the Lord listens to it and feels pleased. But the Lord's grandeur is unfathomable and limitless. He is truly beyond compare. There simply isn't any metaphor that could describe Him, Ram, and Amit. This is the truth. Only a great heart can understand the glory of the Lord. Goswamiji and Vishnuji acknowledge that they are merely narrating what they have heard with contentment. Where is the intellect capable of fully grasping His glory? His greatness is infinite, His virtues boundless, and who can ever comprehend it? I understand this might not be true. Still, I am conveying what I have heard from the saints. Even though the Lord is infinite, how could anyone possibly encapsulate the indescribable in words? Emotions certainly ascend to the joy of divine connection. The wellspring of compassion flows through maternal affection and dismantles the layers of arrogance. Continuously recite words of devotion in your heart. The Lord is a boundless treasure of bliss, a sanctuary of mercy, and beholden to no one. However, his heart is captivated by pure love. To honor such a Lord, one must relinquish attachment, ego, and pride wholeheartedly. Unless attachment is relinquished, and as long as arrogance and pride persist, even if we sing or listen to the Lord's glory, we won't truly enter it. This is why, due to ignorance of His divine glory, our intellect deceives us. We began to disrespect our own master. Why start doubting the virtues of our own master with unnecessary skepticism? A mind as tiny as a mosquito cannot grasp where even billions of Saraswati's intellects fail to enter. To set judgment on the Lord's glory is incorrect and misleading. That very intellect leads us astray. So cleanse yourself of attachment completely. When there is arrogance, attachment to society, status, wealth, or even God, all of that becomes trash. Lord Shiva burns it all. Eventually, confusion arises to such an extent that we begin to consider ourselves to be God. They start to consider themselves divine incarnations. Where thousands bow to them, it begins to feel as if there is no other God, that I alone have descended as the divine, leading to great delusion. This pride and arrogance are such poison that it tastes sweet when consumed, but when it takes hold, its destruction is unparalleled. This arrogance and pride are very destructive poisons that can erase the merits of countless lifetimes in an instant. Where pride arises in any form, be it through knowledge, youth, beauty, it manifests as significant arrogance. And sometimes even knowledge itself becomes a source of pride, where one feels they know everything. Those who have true wisdom humbly say they know nothing. What I share is what I have learned from saints. What I have heard from saints, I repeat. How can my limited intellect grasp the unfathomable ocean of wisdom that belongs to God? Yet people start to judge His actions, and a peculiar reasoning arises in their minds. That reasoning itself is given by Him, not by anyone else. The capacity and intellect that allow this reasoning come only from Him as part of His divine play. To understand the mysteries of God's play, renouncing attachment, pride, and arrogance is absolutely necessary. If pride exists, the glory of God cannot shine through. Know with certainty, if arrogance remains, even basic devotion cannot survive, let alone pure devotion, the very essence of spirituality. Wherever pride in knowledge, beauty, status, wealth, youth, or lineage exists, neither devotion nor its foundation can remain. Such a person, filled with pride in their intellect or superiority, becomes incapable of devotion and unworthy of pleasing God, who is the true beloved. What do you think might happen now? As townsfolk label those women as actresses or courtesans for dressing up not to honor their husbands but to attract other men, in much the same way Bharata does not aim to sway Lord Hari to honor him but to captivate worldly men. He relies on different strategies to gain wealth, and wealth often comes from praise, so he adopts a flattering tone to please the wealthy, yet to capture the ultimate treasure. He let go of all attachment and arrogance. When attachment, pride, and ego persist, understanding the divine leelas of Hari remains impossible. As our Lord Sri Hari declares, whoever comprehends my divine purpose and actions in their entirety achieves a life liberated from the cycle of rebirth. Consider such a fascinating and influential Lord. When a devotee understands the essence of their beloved, why should we recount the tales of great sages? If he accepts the offering of butter placed near his lips, he can also withstand and quell the fiery blaze. Reflect, when he consumes their butter, he also willingly swallows the raging wildfire for their protection. Out of love, he even takes in the destructive Halahal inferno for his companions. He jumped into the poisonous lake of Kalide, where even a single drop of water can ignite flames. This venomous water shows his capability that Hari is unique and not anyone else. Remove illusions, O companions, and serve with devotion. Maharaj Radha Vallabh blesses sincerely and everything becomes auspicious. Fear is removed, doubts cleared. Hari, the destroyer of fear, lies there. Hari is the one whom Vedas, Puranas, scriptures, saints and devotees glorify. 1020 cannot define him. Even though he may have 1020 incarnations, Hari essentially remains the same eternal being. We forget, but sometimes crowds erase and wander in fear of the Lord who is so powerful that millions and billions of Yamraj tremble. Such a Lord is as beautiful as billions of Kamadevas bow before him. Also remember to protect the devotion of his followers. He is so mighty that even billions of Yamraj quiver. Such a Lord constantly showers affection on his devotees, and such a great soul, Goswami Tulsidas Ji, received the news. At Tulsi Ghat in Kashi, a small hut-like dwelling was constructed. A sacrificial altar was built with 4 doors. Lord Thakur was installed in the center for worship, and the Ramcharitmanas written by his own hands was placed there. Some learned Brahmins felt that a work in the Awadhi language like the Ramcharitmanas was gaining so much popularity. While being educated in Sanskrit and deep grammatical knowledge, they weren't even offered the same respect. They thought that if the original manuscript, the root of all copies, is stolen and set afloat in the Ganges at night, it would put an end to it all. Since there were no printing presses back then and every manuscript was handwritten, they planned to sneak it away from Tulsidas Ji's small kutir sometime between midnight and 1 in the middle of his sleep. But when they reached there, they saw standing guard, as still and watchful as a bowman ready to act, were Lord Sri Ram and Lakshman themselves. Shaking with fear, they turned back but thought of entering through the back door. Upon this action, they saw guards stationed at each door. Frightened, they returned with nothing and came back the next day to bow before him, saying, "Who would have thought you maintained such tight security even at night?" When asked about this security, it was mentioned that 2 divine princes stood with bows guarding every gate. Tears welled up in Goswamiji's eyes, realizing how powerful and protective his Lord is. While the devotee sleeps, the master stays awake and guards the protector. Such divine events, when read in the lives of devotees, deeply touch the heart. If His Majesty the Lord himself wished, he could command a force of immense power, once capable of causing utter chaos. Yet the Lord chose not to command such forces. He stands at the door himself, expressing the love he holds for his devotees. Witnessing his affection, one must not mistakenly regard him as ordinary or merely Supreme Lord Hari. The glory of the Lord that you hear is of him who instills awe in the sun to shine and in the wind to blow. The earth does not sink in water. Each element performs its designated role. That master is Lord Sri Hari. Whether he appears playing the flute or engaging in divine dances, his omnipotence remains unchanged. He is boundless in glory. Never doubt him or view him with skepticism. Focus intently while listening to holy discourses. Remember this: his divine nature is free from human traits. He is not flesh nor bone, not a hero nor a worldly figure. Those who sing his praises harbor no lust or anger, nor can such things exist in his presence. Do not impose human weaknesses upon the Lord. Instead, uplift your thoughts to grasp the sanctity of his birth and actions. One promise: there are no rebirths. This will be the ultimate life cycle. By simply accepting the glory of the Lord and spending your life worshipping his divine play, names and attributes, you will attain eternal residence in his beloved abode. This life will be free of death, wandering and suffering. All burdens will vanish.